Peace and safety to the creed. I want to wish y'all a beautiful day and night. Appreciate y'all joining me. Today's discussion for Assassin Philosophy. What is an assassin? An assassin, as many of us know in today's era, is seen as one of a sanctioned killer, someone that hunts a target down and comes forth and takes their life of a contract many of times we've seen in media for money. But when it comes to the terms of the Nizari Shia, is Ismaili sect of Islam, which comes from Ismail, who was a martyr who died for the creed. And just a pre-starter, just so y'all know, this comes from my knowledge and what I've learned from books and done my own research. I always preach doing your own research as well. And these are just my philosophy and my thoughts, so just keep that in mind. Always do your own research as well. But let's just begin with the basics. The term assassin. Assassin, it honestly has many etymologies. From Grandmaster Hassani Sabah, of the Persian Grandmaster of Alamut, who descended in his teachings from Nizar, hence Nizari, Ismaili, Shia sect of Islam, and Nizar descending his teachings from Ismail, both martyrs for the creed who died for the creed. And the Persian Grandmaster Hassani Sabah, Hassan. At first, the name Hassan meant just a follower of Hassan. But there's also been etymologies of the assassins being called Hashashin, meaning users of hashish. In the Islamic world, sometimes wine was not used rather constructively for just, how should I put it? As you know, as Americans drink wine casually, it was not used that way in the Middle East, but hashish was. And sometimes some people would use the term hashishin to discredit the assassins, to make them think they were drug crazed smokers of hashish that fueled their motives for assassination. This was not, they did smoke hashish, but that was not all that was based upon the assassinations. So that was the two words, Hashashin and Hassan, follower of Hassan, as well as the term Assassin, which means guardian, the people of principle. As you can see, all these words are quite similar. And when you combine them, you can kind of see how they all formulated into the word assassin, which I find quite interesting. The Nizari Shia is a sect of Islam. There are many different sects, schools, as you can put it, of Islam, Shia and the Sunni, and as well as many others. But the ones of the assassins, as we see in the Assassin's Creed, are of the Nizari Shia Ismaili sect of Islam. And they would use these methods of assassination to take down their targets who were persecuting their sect. It's interesting as we go to see, we don't have many resources left from the Persian assassins, but as well in popular media from the creed, in the term assassin, we can still see of the etymology of the Persian culture and of Hassan, Grandmaster Hassan, from the name primarily stemming from it, Assassin, Assassin. So I find that quite interesting. So we have Hashashin, smokers of hashish, Assassin, follower of Hassan, Assassin, the people of principle, guardians, And when we combine all that together, we can kind of see the etymology, how it became assassin. It's funny how the term assassin, we think of just people that kill, but originally the Nizari Shia sect of Islam, their earliest people, the Persian, Arabian, Syrian, Levantine assassins, they did not kill for money as we see in a lot of popular media today. They killed with the intention, well, for political, and we've seen political assassinations throughout Roman cultures, Greek cultures, and many cultures throughout history. So the method of assassination is nothing new. Even in the year 1000, when the assassins were really of the Nizari, I should put it, were really in high movement. But I find it quite interesting how it's changed so much. But like many terms changed throughout history from originally what it was bestowed. But originally the assassins they didn't just kill anyone. They did not kill for money either. They killed politically to remove the oppression, and they were for the people. They lived amongst the people, got their information on their intel from their targets from the people, and did these assassinations to help the people and help their creed from this prejudice and injustice that we are still facing to this day. They did not kill innocents, only their targets, their political targets, sometimes them being generals, politicians, only those targets. They hunted them down like a predator hunts down its prey. Nowadays, you see an assassin on the television, you think, oh, that's just someone that gets hired who does a killing. Oh, assassin. No, that's more of a mercenary. A mercenary is more of a warrior that is hired to kill and file a contract. That's not really what a true assassin, the true bearers of the assassins were and what they stood for. The Nizari, there's always been multiple cults of assassination, but the assassins that we refer to in the Assassin's Creed, the Nizari Shia Ismaili sect of Islam, the Assassin Hashashin Assassin's Creed, they only killed their target and they stay thy blade from the innocent, as we see as one of the tenets in the Assassin's Creed game, stay thy blade from the innocent. There was no collateral damage and there was no killing of the innocents. And that was to protect the inner workings of the soul of the assassin and just protect the creed itself. As people, as assassins of the people, it wouldn't make sense for them to kill of the people. How would they gain their information? How would they be able to hide and stealthily amongst the people if all the people were afraid of them? So when you can see the correlation between that, it makes sense why the assassin stemmed away from killing of all of any. And that's not what the true assassin stood for. But assassin, guardian, a guardian, someone that protects, a protector, protectors of truth, of peace in all things. As we say in the Nizari Shia sect of Islam, and our creed, peace in all things, truth, free will in all things. So I find that quite interesting, just a bit of philosophy there. Another good source that I've been reading that's been helping me just find revelations of the creed is Alamot. It's a beautiful book by Vladimir Baltov. He was also one that was also interested in the ways of the assassins and the ways of the creed. Highly recommend. Gives many revelations on just different perspectives on the assassins and the creed. And just gives a lot of etymology on where some of these terms come from, some of the philosophy of the Persian assassins of Alamut, and gives you just a different hindsight of the assassins. So I definitely would recommend that. Alamut by Vladimir Bartol. It's a beautiful book. Beautiful book. But yeah. I find the assassins quite interesting. And more so, I mean, especially as a warrior, and just the ways of stealth. I've always found them interesting, but just in what they stand for. Just a creed that speaks for truth, for peace in all things, and who are willing to put an end to it through their means. It gives hope. It gives hope. It's inspiring that people are willing to die. And oh yeah, as I forgot to mention, Fedayeen. That was the term the assassins were called before even the term Assassin. Fedayeen, Fedai, meaning a self-sacrificer. There are many stories of these assassins, Fedayeen, who are willing to sacrifice themselves for the kill. Many of these missions the assassins went on were so deadly that many of them, after their assassination, sometimes couldn't even escape and would die in the cause of it. But the Fedayeen, the early assassins felt that dying for the cause spoke even more powerfully amongst the people. And in a way it does. Whenever we see people that die for any cause, that's powerful. It seeks a certain kind of power in all of us and inspires people. And it really shows the strength of the creed, what they stand for. I've always found that interesting as well. The assassins are an interesting sect. Stealthy lot. First they would use poisons, botanicals, which we've also seen in many other cultures. The Romans, we've also seen them use poisons in their assassinations, but we've also seen the way they killed though was from dagger, beautiful dagger. And they were able to blend, as we've seen in the Assassin's Creed games, blend, hide in plain sight. They were able to blend in sight, able to assume a disguise of a holy man or whoever they needed to fit into society, so they would not provoke suspicion. And from there, they could assassinate the target, merely almost appearing from nowhere and disappearing. It's quite beautiful, I'd say. It's quite interesting. And then these Ari, sect of Islam, is still strong and alive today. One of the greatest Shia sects of Islam that are still alive in the present day. So it just goes to show how strong that creed, how strong that sense of those people really were. The brotherhood, the sisterhood of it is quite magnificent. Quite magnificent, my brothers and sisters. And just what they stand for, I've always found to be true. Just for free will. That's what they fought for, to just be able to practice their own philosophy at first. They were a persecuted sect of Islam, just as many of us are persecuted for being ourselves, persecuted for not following the ways of others. In a way, they're not different from me and you at all. Especially myself, I've never really fit into any one particular kind of group. But I'm glad it was like that. We're meant to stand out. We're meant to be ourselves. We're meant to just live life, be free. And that's what assassins stand for. Being free. Peace in all things. Just being free. The Persian assassins of Alamut, Hassani Sabah, along with Hassani Sabah, rest in peace, great grandmaster. His spirit lives on in me. He was one of the original martyrs from Nizar who took their creed to the Persia, to present-day Iran, and then established the assassin fortress of Alamut. And there, we can see from there, he established another great fortress in Masyaf, Syria. And as we can see in the Assassin's Creed 1 game, that's where we take place. Syria and Masyaf, both two present-day places, and there still remains of the great assassin fortresses if we go to look at them today. Goes to show the magnificent construction for their history to still be there, and just to see the power of truth just flows so much. It's quite magnificent, quite magnificent. It makes you wonder and question sometimes, just if you're really willing to die for what you stand for. And it's powerful when you are. I am. I'm willing to die for truth, for peace, in all things. And I will do everything I can, in whatever way I can, to promote our cause of the Assassin Philsophy, of peace, truth, and the will to be free. I see no other way to live. And as Americans know the term, give us liberty or give us death. It's a true term. It really is. There's no way but one is living if you're not free. For them to take away, for the oppressors to think they can take away an unalienable right that we are born with. To me, that is evil, that is oppression, that is tyranny, tyrannical. And we as the people of truth, of free will, for justice, we should not stand for this at all. So that's why I will fight. I will fight in my own way. And as we all do, we'll all fight in our own way. And no matter how long it takes, the assassin mission of the Fedayeen of Grandmaster Hassani Sabah started in year 1000, or 1,000 years later, and we're still fighting to be free. It might take another 1,000 years, 2,000, 3,000 years, but so be it. We will not stop. I will not stop. I cannot give up. I cannot give up on my creed. I cannot give up on myself. I will not give up on beautiful life. I will not give up on you. We should not give up on each other and our will of free that we are born with. That unalienable right they will not take from us. Long live the assassins. Long live creed. Truth, intellect, wisdom, knowledge. Truth sets us free. As we see nowadays, a lot of governments try to hide the truth. A lot of oppressional forces disguise the truth with lies. Paint the madmen, the ones really talking the truth, just as I've been seen, as the madmen, as the heretics, when really they were the ones that are right the whole time. It's funny how that works, isn't it? My friends, my brothers and sisters. It's funny how that works out. But no matter, because the truth cannot be hidden. It is not in their power to hide the truth. The truth has always been meant to be free. That's why we all know the term, the truth will set you free. It really will. And though sometimes the truth can be hard to take in, it is necessary to do so. Better to know truth that hurts than to live a life full of lies. Wouldn't you agree, my brothers and sisters? I know I would. Truth and peace in all things. Truth and peace in all things. Well, that covers a little bit, at least, The bear is where the term assassin comes from. Assassin, follower of Hassan Yusuf, the Persian grandmaster of Alamo, a fortress. Assassin, a guardian, the peoples of principle. Fadai, the Fadayin, a self-sacrificer. And Hashashin, smokers of hashish. When you look at those etymologies, those calligraphies, you can kind of see where they picked the Europeans, and they picked from there and kind of combined it all together. It's the term we now know as assassin. Assassin. It's quite interesting to see how words differentiate over the many years, but also keep a lot of their etymology in which they come from. And that's why us assassins love to go back in history, especially of the Islamic just culture. I've always found history to be important, and it is. Even before I was a Nizari Shia Islamic of the Assassin's Creed, I've always been fond of history. And it runs in my blood. It runs in my Arabian, Persian blood. So it just goes to show it runs deep. It runs deep in all of us, a lot of our traits and who we are. It runs deeper than just what we like. It runs deep, my brothers and sisters. Always study your history. Just it helps you understand who you are, and just who you're obtaining, and where you can go from there after you know who you are. And it's just good to always thank your ancestors, and because honestly, without your ancestors, you wouldn't be here. I'm saying about your ancestors that came before, how would you have been here? You wouldn't have. Who fought for you to be here? Who lived so you can live? And that is why I keep going for the ancestors, and for myself, and for my ancestors, for my family, and for my friends. And don't get me wrong, I have my moments sometimes. It's hard. It's hard sometimes. We all have moments where we feel like giving in and giving up, but if we all give up hope, there will be no hope. We must be the hope. We aren't in the way. We make the way. We can all make a way for ourselves to fly free. Make the way. I believe in you. I believe in your way. And your way to make a way and fly free, my brothers and sisters. We will make a way for peace in all things. Peace in all things, my brothers and sisters. Peace in all things. What other topics can we discuss? According at least to the main central topic of what is an assassin. A vanguard, a scout. It's also an assassin, someone that can gather intelligence from their surroundings and bring it back to the base. As we've seen with other warriors, shadow warriors, the ninja, and many other different kinds of groups. The CIA even uses those tactics as well in certain ways, just gathering local intelligence on their targets. Guerrilla warfare tactics, so many other groups in military arts. All quite, in a way, bearers of the same techniques that the assassins, in a way, created. I wouldn't say they created them, but the assassins were the first to make it really known in their whole encapsulating style. So I find that also quite interesting, which also you could use further research into as well. My brothers and sisters and assassins. Just more research into the ways of the shadow. into the ways of a creed. A scout, a hunter, someone that goes out, surveys his surroundings, surveys, able to adapt on the fly, hide in plain sight stealthily, like a lion stalking its prey, and strike at the perfect moment. That was a true assassin. That is a true assassin. Assassin lives in the shadows. Live in the shadows, my brothers and sisters. Live in the shadows. That is the way of a true assassin. That is the way. And in what other way can we? The assassins during Hassani Sabah's day were going against such vast numbers that they had to find a way to still strike against their enemies of such a substantial military force, but still make a dent. And that's where they devised the strategy of taking out the leader, the commander. It was quite ingenious, and it makes sense. When you take out the leader of the group, you take out, for one, who they get their orders from. And then that results in the whole fragment of the whole sect, of the whole military battle plan. Take out the leader, you take out the main strategist. Your strategy falls apart. So it was quite ingenious for Hassani Sabah to think of such a tactic, Grandmaster Hassani Sabah. And we still see nowadays sometimes politicians being assassinated. And still, even nowadays and even before the time of the Nizari, Shia sect of Islam, also known as the Alamut period, when the Alamut Persian assassins were strong in conducting their military forces and assassinations amongst the Middle East, the Levantine. So it's quite interesting etymology, my friends, my brothers and sisters. And even though eventually the assassin forces of Alamut, Masya fell, the creed itself never broke. The Nizari are still one of the biggest sects of Islam and the biggest sect of Shia today. It just goes to show how passionate people were for the creed and how passionate people still are for the creed. Fedayeen, self-sacrificers, Sassyuns, guardians, the Egyptian Magi, protector. Just as in Assassin's Creed Origins, Bayek is referred to as Magi, protector, a hidden one. Before they were called Assassins. In the ways of the Sassyun and the Nizari, they referred to as hidden ones. Which makes sense, hidden ones who are hidden. As we hide in plain sight, we're able to hide. Our greatest power is being able to disappear and reappear from the shadows at a moment's notice to be gone. But that is just what I really want you to take from this chat, my brothers. It's just an assassin is not a hired killer. Assassin originally was a self-sacrificer, a guardian, a Fedayeen, a protector of peace, truth, life, and the will to be free. A follower of Hassani Sabah, great grandmaster Persian assassin of Alamut order of assassins. Hashashin, smokers of hash. When you combine all those etymology together in their own way, you get assassin. Thank you, my brothers and sisters, for joining me on the stream. This is where I will conclude this one for now. And join me on the next Assassin Philosophy. We'll continue discussing Assassin Philosophy and philosophy of truth and life. Hope to see you there. May peace and safety always be upon you. I'm uploading another mission report as well. So I hope to see you on the hunting grounds there. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all being here with me. Appreciate y'all sharing your truth and philosophy and allowing me to share my truth and philosophy with you. Long live the Nizari Shia, Ismaili sect of Islam. Long live the Fedayeen, the self-sacrificers, the Hashashin. Long live the Assassins, the followers of Hassan. Long live the Assassin's Creed. Till next time, my brothers and sisters. Until next time, my brothers and sisters. Peace and safety always be upon you. Along with the Assassins. Along with the Creed. We will all fly free. For peace, truth, life, and the will to be free. For the Creed. For the Assassin's Creed. Till next time.